Good day, boys and girls. I hope you're all doing well. This week's lecture is on your pre-writing skills. Pre-writing skills are important because sometimes we struggle with certain assignments and we have no idea where to begin. So we will learn a little bit about these skills to help you through your assignments and whatever else writing task that you are faced with. Now this slide is a message from our e-learning academy. So you can watch the video in your own time. The link is provided. This tells you about our rewind lecture capture system, which is available in all our lecture theatres. So when we get back to campus and we do have our lectures in our lecture theatres, the lectures will be recorded and you can play it back at your own time and watch it again in case you don't understand anything. So this is also a sort of a rewind for you. So when we talk to our peers, our friends, we do not talk in a very formal manner. So academic writing teaches you how to use a language, well, that doesn't really flow off your tongue as usual, the type of language that you rarely use when you're speaking to your peers or your friends, and possibly the type of language that you don't understand, and the language that means spending hours at a computer turning something quite simple into something that sounds moderately impressive with a kind of a snooty result. So now if you look at that box up there, you have got your BTW, your LOL. Please do not use that when you're doing your assignments, all right? This is something that all of you are used to, but nope, you cannot use it when you're doing your assignments and formal writing. So what is pre-writing? It is the very first stage of a writing process. It is actually aimed to discover and explore your initial ideas about a subject. Anything that you're given, you need to do a little bit of pre-writing. So this should take place at the beginning when the mind is blank, because trust me, you cannot immediately start writing. When you're faced with a question, you have to sit down and think about it, and you will realize that somewhere along the way your mind gets a little bit blank. So you need to do a little bit of pre-writing. So you have to plan before you write. Just like when you're going on a holiday, a vacation, of course you need to plan things out before you actually start packing and making all the other arrangements. So you need to plan before you write. Alright, so there are a few pre-writing techniques that we need to go through. It's brainstorming, free writing, mapping or clustering, and questionings or mind map, and outlining. We will go through each one. Brainstorming as it stays, you need to storm your head a little bit to generate as many ideas as possible and then group them together to find patterns, similarities that your ideas will have. So you are jotting down all the words and phrases that pop into your head regarding a topic or a title that's given. There is no necessity to write in complete sentences, and at this point you don't have to worry about your grammar or your spelling because it's just a very, very rough sketch. And then you group your items in a way that makes sense to you, and then you label each group. This gives you points of interest to focus on, a proper way to organize. So we have a simple topic here, dogs, and then this is just what randomly written about what dogs are like, so they can go home when they're told to. You can teach them tricks, that is, they can be trained and they will wait for you and they're happy to see you. Yes, I have a little doggy and he's always very happy to see me. And it's also easy to see that they're happy because they wag their tails, they make great pets, and also scare people. And they are also rescue dogs, police dogs, guard dogs. They protect people as well. So you've got opposite here. They scare people and protect people. And yes, they are used by blind people as guide dogs. Okay? And they will follow you wherever you go. They'll follow you to places. They will walk with you. So if you've had a chance to go fishing, maybe your doggy can follow you. And most importantly, they look up to you because you are their master. So these are just random ideas about dogs that we have jotted down. So what do we do next? We group them. So we put them under SMART. Yes, so from the list previously, they guard the house, they can do tricks, they can be trained, rescue people, police dogs, protect people, used by blind people, all goes under the category of being smart. And then you have loyal, they will wait for you, follow you wherever you go, and they look up to you. And friendly, they're happy to see you, they wag their tails, and they have a habit of licking when they are happy. So I will explain later what thesis is. This is basically what the title is. Dogs make great pets. So from your brainstorming earlier, you have now narrowed it down into different groups, different categories. So this will make it easier for you to do your proper writing. So once you have done your brainstorming, you have what you call free writing. And what is free writing? It is a pre-writing technique which a person writes without stopping for a period of time, let's say 5 to 15 minutes. It's not something that goes on for hours, all right? It's just a matter of minutes because it produces raw, often unusable material, but it helps writers to overcome blocks of apathy and self-criticism. So you tend to write something on a piece of paper, then you crumple it up, and then you throw it into the bin, and then you start again. So this is what free writing is, because unlike brainstorming, where ideas are simply listed, when you do free writing, you need to write it in sentences to form a paragraph about whatever comes to mind. So I hope that's clear about free writing. Because I'm going to do this is a sample of free writing. Do you all remember your first trip to the dentist? Yes, think about it. Horrifying, isn't it? Okay, so this author has written a little story about his trip to the dentist. If you notice, he's got oh no, okay, a type of language that you don't really use in academic writing. So he says, I hate going to the dentist. I'm always afraid that they're going to hurt me. And I'm not very good at pain, at tolerating pain, I mean. I remember the first time when I was a kid going to the dentist. It seemed I never went to the dentist when I was a kid until I had a toothache. That's my parents' fault, isn't it? I guess. They should have taken better care of my teeth when I was little, and then I wouldn't have so much grief now with my teeth. I don't know what to write. Oh no, okay. I wonder how come anyone in his right mind mind would ever want to become a dentist, putting his fingers into other people's mouths all day, all that spit and blood, and not there's the fear of getting AIDS from your clients, that they have to wear those rubber gloves, and I hate the feel of those things in my mouth too. So he's just writing basically everything that he felt, thought, his fears, all that into free writing. So if you notice, there's no real paragraphing anything, it's just his thoughts, just a matter of he's feeling when he went to the dentist, and at the end of the day he blamed his parents for it. So you are going to do a little bit of free writing, because this is going to be your activity to account for your attendance. So you are to set a timer for 10 minutes and start writing about my biggest fear. 10 minutes, boys and girls, not 1 hour. Do it. Set the timer. Now please do this in a Word document. That means you key it in, and then after you do it, you write your name, your student ID, the program you belong to at the top of the writing, so I will know who is who. And then you have to upload it into Lecture 2 folder under your respective programs in the Google link in Times, as you did last week. And this will be considered as your attendance for the lecture. Now please, when you sit and think about my biggest fear, don't spend too much time thinking about it. It can be anything. Are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of spiders? Are you afraid of your lecturers? Anything that you feel that you need to just express, like how the boy did about, or boy or girl, I'm not sure, wrote about the trip to the dentist. So no cheating. Make sure you set the timer for 10 minutes and please upload it. I hope there's no problems with the uploading this time. I will monitor it during your lecture time. If you have any issues, please write it in your Times, a little chat bubble on the top right hand, and then I will see what I can do. But it is to be done between 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Wednesday. That is your lecture time. All right. So next we have mapping and clustering. This is thinking in a visual way. Some people like it better when they draw things out, even if it's writing, putting in circles and squares and arrows. So this helps them, and it also shows a relationship between the ideas and the details. So if you look in the middle there, you've got TV and kids. So you put in whatever you think that would be related to that title. So avoiding exercise replaces social interaction. It promotes a lot of violence. It also shows poor role models. So whatever that you can think of about TV and kids, you put it down there. This is mapping, clustering. Mind mapping. Mind mapping is a kind of a, not a complex way. This looks complex, but no, it's not. Mind mapping also helps you when you're doing your writing, as it did in clustering. So you've got effects of television on young children. So we will practice all this when we actually do our tutorials on your writing. So this is just a rough idea of what you need to know. So if you notice, this is broken up into positive and negative effects. Okay, again, it's effects of television on young children. Questioning is very important. The who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how. Only if you ask these questions are you able to look for answers. And this is also a very good way for you to develop critical thinking. When you ask questions, you are questioning things around you, and when you question things around you, you learn more. There is more knowledge that's accumulated rather than just sticking to what you already know. You're broadening your horizon and you're thinking out of the box. So you can ask yourself these questions in relation to your essay topic in order to make sure you have covered all bases, and also to help you focus on your topic. Remember, do not write out of topic. Okay? And then once you have explored some great pre-writing strategies, you can move on to forming the skeleton of your essay known as your outline. So you'll be a little bit happy when you do all this. At least you have a rough idea about what you are going to do next. So now we are going to take a little break, and then we will come back to part 2 of our lectures.